Right here. There we go. What's going on, everybody? This is your boy, Amir Mahari here, representing MehariNation Sports Podcast here on another beautiful day here in the city of Minneapolis, Minnesota here. Shout out to the entire LDBC. Shout out to the entire Lions Den basketball, boxing, and MMA community up in this thing. We got a good panel here for you today. We got some guests in the house today. We got John Black Johnny representing the UK. What's going on, brother?
Hey, bro, I'm all good. I'm all good.
All
Just
right.
chilling on this fine Saturday. Can't wait
Yep.
for the boxing and UFC.
Yeah. Is it the evening time in the UK?
Yeah, at the moment it's 9 in the evening.
Oh, okay. Wow, that's a total difference though. I like the new Airtrain avatar though, bro, with the fingerprint there. That's nice. I like that.
Yeah, cheers, bro.
All right, for sure. And then we also got Focus Ball representing the West Coast there. What's going on, Focus Ball?
Salute, homie. I'm actually on the East Coast, but
I'm sorry.
yeah, I'm in fucking New York, New Jersey, that area.
Oh,
Matter of
okay.
fact, where you at, Abel?
I'm in the Midwest, Minneapolis.
Okay, respect.
Yeah, for
Hey,
sure,
salute
man.
to the chat.
Yeah, salute to the entire chat. Mark Wonderland, welcome aboard there, brother. Salute. All right, though, man. So, got a lot of boxing, a lot of MMA stuff going on today. I already sent out some links to some brothers there, bro. So whenever they want to come on in, they can come on in at any time, though. So, but let's get jumping here about some boxing talk tonight. We got some big boxing matches going on here tonight. We got Peter Quillen versus Caleb Trox representing Minneapolis though. Chipper Supreme, salute, man. Welcome aboard there, brother. You know what I'm saying? And then we also got the big undisputed championship bout between Claressa Shields versus Christina Hammer tonight. And then we also got what also we got to make sure to check out some boxing matches there too, real quick. So, but while I do that though, so John Black Johnny, I haven't heard much about your opinions about for the Christina Hammer versus the Claressa Shields fight. What do you expect out of the fight tonight?
Uh, Complete and utter domination from Shields as long as she gets past the jab.
Okay.
If not, I think it's going to be a close fight.
Yep.
But if she gets past the jab, it's a wrap for me.
Okay. So you believe that if she gets past through Christina Hammer's height and jab, it'll be the difference in the fight in your opinion?
Yeah, I believe so because Shields will do a nice job on the inside. Probably stop her late. That's my prediction.
Okay, for sure. Hey, King Louis, salute though, homie. Hey, could you put your email in the chat though, bro? I want to talk to you some NBA playoff stuff though, brother. If you want to come on, all right. So, Mr. Focus Ball, you had an excellent demonstration about how Christina Hammer, controls most of her fights and what Claressa Shields needs to do to try to win it, though, bro. Can you explain a bit of a synopsis of what does Claressa Shields need to do to try to beat Christina Hammer, specifically on the jab and preventing her from using the height and movement?
Yeah. So I made a video talking about all of this, where I went step by step what she needs to do exactly. I'm trying to send it in the chat. I just send it into the Hangouts. I put a link in the Hangouts. So
Okay.
If you can put that in the chat, that would be great. I hope you guys watch that because I went step by step with it to go over the exact techniques that she needs to use. Let me see if I can set up a stand right here and give you guys a demonstration. But essentially, the best way to get around somebody who has a good jab, right? If they got a good jab, you need to time their jab and jab with their jab, right? So you can jab, let's see. So let's say someone throws a jab to the face. When they jab you to the face, they're open in their body. If you're let's say you're both in orthodox stance. You're both in the same stance. So if she's jabbing with that left hand, which she does, then Claressa needs to duck down and jab to the body. So it's the perfect counter for it. It's the perfect time. She has the speed to do it. And for range, because she's shorter in the range area, this jab, it'll allow her to slip in and get past this chick's reach. But once she does that, she'll be in the pocket and she'll be vulnerable for the uppercut.
Okay.
You know? So she's got to, as soon as she gets that body jab, give me 1 second there. There we go. We got some video. So this is the head jab, right? She wants to get around that jab. So she's got to slip her head under and immediately get right back out.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the best ways, so got that jab. She can slip under, catch her jab. But when she comes in, she has to be mindful of Christina's uppercut. So what she can do is get her head through quick on the other side, and as she's coming through, get that hit to the body. When she gets that hit to the body and her head is off the line, she can pivot and hit to the body or pivot and hit to the head. Let me see if I can demonstrate that real quick. So we got Christina's jab, get under, hook, and hook. So for Christina, she's going to have to fight off the back. If she's throwing that jab and Claressa gets through, let's say I'm Christina, I'm throwing that jab. Claressa ducks down and gets that jab to the body. What she can do is something like this. She can just pivot the body and get herself out the way. And basically, it'll allow for her to miss, Claressa to miss the hook afterwards and smother the head hook. Just by pivoting to this side, she'll take off the power off of Shields' hook and smother the other hook, and then smother her on the inside, catch her with an uppercut.
All right, for sure. Excellent demonstration there. Hey, if you ain't subscribed to Mr. Focus Ball MMA, y'all should do that, though, man. He's got excellent breakdowns about the fight, though, man. Hey, Stormy B, man, I sent you a link, though, brother, so go ahead and jump on at any time, all right? Yes, sir. Cypher Sabrine, yes, sir, man. So here's what I kind of think. Yeah. Here's what I'm kind of thinking about.
Okay, well, if you're in the chat or whatever, or you're on the panel, I'll see you on there, man.
Oh yeah, absolutely though. Welcome aboard, Stormy B, man. What's going on, man? We got Stormy B, man, in the house. Yes, sir. If you ain't subscribed to Stormy B, man, or Curtis Anderson, you don't know what you're doing, though, man. Y'all should go ahead and check them out. Got some excellent content and insight of life. That's right. One of the OGs of the LDBC. You know it, baby. You know it. So we were basically discussing over about the synopsis about Claressa Shields versus Christina Hammer fight. Now, I actually thought about what we were talking about last night there too. You know what I mean? Because the one thing that I kind of thought about, you know, with Claressa Shields is that, you know, I firmly believe in my mind that the one thing that she has to be careful of is not letting the moment get to her. You know,
exactly.
That's what I'm concerned about, because this is the first big fight of her career, her young career, to say. And the one concern I have is, you know, she allowed the moment to get the best of her. You know what I mean? Because it reminded me somewhat of when Erickson Lubin took on Jamal Charlo, and then he ended up getting embarrassed though in the first round. You know what I mean? So, do you kind of feel that kind of sentiment, Stormy B, man?
Absolutely, unequivocally not. And I'll tell you why. Because this woman has won 2 Olympic gold medals, and she did it back to back at a time in the sport where women's boxing is actually making a resurgence. And that is the largest world stage of nerves you could ever feel when you're representing your country. Right. Okay. And you've got people out there, they're not even your friends or loved ones or whatever. They're hanging their hats of hope on you. Okay. And she produced royally. Now, a world championship fight, which she has already become a champion, cannot best that.
Right.
The only thing that the two of them will experience is the fact that this is a unification of the 2 top fighters in the sport in this weight class, pairing off against one another.
Right.
That's the angle of what is new, or as a new frontier for them both. However, as I said last night in the stream, And in my video that I did on them earlier in the week, I said that Claressa Shields, thank God for the fight she had against Gabriel's, because the knockdown, the opposition that Gabriel's brought, you know, she actually brought competitiveness. She brought a contention toward Claressa, and Claressa was able to prevail. You know, when we talked about Amir Khan last night, and I spoke of him not being the guy who has overcome and prevailed and have graduated to a new level, Claressa gravitated to a new level that no one could ever take away from her off of the Gabriel's fight, because it showed her, one, she can be knocked on her ass. Okay. Right. Two, it showed her that she could get up and be okay after being knocked down, embarrassed or whatever. And three, she won the fight. She was victorious. So guess what she has in her dossier? She could say, I've been down and got up and won. You see what I'm saying? It gives you an insight to character that when someone has been tested, now they have something to fall back on. This is what I speak about these fighters of today who become champions before they learn how to fight.
Right.
It was the entire way that Claressa handled the knockdown against Gabriel's. A knockdown can happen. It could be a flash knockdown, or someone can really actually put you on your ass.
Right.
And you could be concussed. But the way she handled it, she took a deep breath, sitting on that canvas, took the count, stood up, looked the referee in his eyes, took another deep breath, looked at her corner. She made sure she was okay, and she went back into the fray.
Right.
Dude, there are men who have far more experience than she has that didn't respond that well. And it was over for him after that. So when she's able to bring that into this fight tonight, that is a hell of a load to have of experience. Now, like I said, if that had never happened, then we'd be wondering with a little more curiosity, is she going to be up to snuff? Fighting in front of 30,000 people in the Olympics, or fighting in front of, you know, however many it's going to be in the venue they're fighting in tonight, is not going to really move her that much.
Right.
And the fact that she spoke about taking herself off of social media these last few days and not buying into certain things, it shows a maturity and a focus that for a young fighter with 8-9 fights like she has, that's commendable. So lastly, if Hammer hasn't experienced any of that, does anyone know if Hammer's been down and had to get up?
She ain't get up.
So it's like, you know, it's something that if Hammer has never had that type of opposition, we don't know how she's going to act if she gets knocked down. I've seen fighters from over there get touched up and they trainers jump in the ring and save them.
Yep.
Okay. And it's because they were always front runners. Okay. But the going doesn't get tough until you get knocked down, pal. You don't get tested until someone says, show me.
Right.
Okay. And that's anything in life. When I work with guys in the gym, we teach the principle of life's principles in the gym. It's like, because you could take that from where you're working out athletically and apply it to your everyday life. And see, as long as you have that type of constitution and foundation, you're going to be all right. Because there are always stumbling blocks out here for everyone.
All right.
But who's just going to lay down in the mud and say, woe is me? You know, can I get a second chance? Huh? No, you have to take that chance by the throat when the opportunity presents itself.
Right.
Now, I will say, technically, she has some flaws that she needs to clean up. But as she graduates through her career, that is on the table to be done. But I do believe the hardest part of things have happened already, and now it's just time for the fight. And I believe she's going to deliver. It's just that sometimes we don't see greatness before it becomes deemed greatness. We're all on that journey watching, we're on that trip. We're supporting and this and that. And then when it's finally accomplished, you celebrate whatever's been accomplished, but then you forget about the road, the path behind. And you're like, wow, they overcame this. Oh, they had to deal with that. Oh, they did this. And then the next thing you know, you say, wow, that person was really great.
Right.
So that's my answer, Abel, to your question. And thanks for having me on the panel, bro.
Absolutely, though, bro. Great explanation. Now, we got some other people in the house, though. We got the wrench assassin, Mr. Hyphy, in the house. What's going on, Hyphy?
Hey, I see my boy 503 just hopped in. I'm going to let him go first. Go ahead, 503.
Absolutely. We also got 503 in the house. What's going on, 503?
Oh, man. Trying to run these little errands. Get back to the house, man. Time enough to get ready for the fight, bro. What's up with you? How you doing?
Man, just chilling on a beautiful Saturday afternoon, though, man. Got a lot of boxing to talk about, though, bro. So I want to actually ask you 503 about what's your thoughts about tonight's big undisputed championship fight between Claressa Shields versus Christina Hammer. What do you see out of that fight tonight?
I mean, shit. This is what we was made for, you know what I'm saying? This is why we was created, man. Even though this is women's boxing, it's the best fight in the best. It's for undisputed, you know what I'm saying? Hopefully this fight do good numbers on Showtime. So yeah, man, I'm excited. But I'm going with Claressa Shields, unanimous decision. A lot of people are saying knockout, man, but I don't see her knocking out Hammer. You know what I'm saying? She might quit on the stool, or they might throw in the towel or something, but I don't see it, bro. I think if she stay inside of the jab, go to the body, box good, stay patient, don't get too over anxious or over zealous, don't get caught up in the moment. You know what I'm saying? And I think she should come out victorious, man. I think John Jackson is a good coach. I think they're gonna have an excellent game plan, and all she got to do is follow the game plan.
All right, for sure. The way I look at it is this: the one thing that's going to be anxious for me is how the referee is going to dictate how this fight is going to be fought out. If the referee allows the inside fighting to happen, then it's going to favor Claressa Shields. But if the referee continues to break it up continuously, it's going to favor Christina Hammer, because then she could use the jab and her reach and then just move out of range and try to frustrate, Claressa Shields. I'm kind of, one thing I will say, Focus Ball too, though, is that, what's his name?
John David Jackson.
Yeah, John Jackson. Thank you very much. The one thing that I will say that what John Jackson does emphasize very well is basically an offensive approach, but he's kind of skeptical when it comes down to defense, and then basically trying to calm the fighter down in the heat of the moment, though, bro. So do you kind of see it that way, though, too?
I mean, I haven't paid enough attention to John David Jackson's corner work, but what'll win her this fight is better defense, not offense.
Right.
As strange as that sounds, because Hammer's like, I'm not insulting her skill. She's very good. She's fundamentally sound, but she boxes like a typical Eastern European, everything behind the jab. So I could see her jabbing her way to a victory and getting those uppercuts and pointing. You know what I mean?
Right.
Getting outpointing her if Claressa comes in and tries to, and if Claressa comes in wild and isn't even keeled and using her own jab, because she's got a jab too.
Right.
In order for her to do what is necessary, she's going to have to get behind her own jab.
Right.
And like I said, defense is key, because how do I say, once you get past the jab, where she's going to do the most damage is on the inside with body hooks and uppercuts, right?
Right.
But when you're in there, that's when you're most vulnerable to getting hit with Hammer's uppercut. Uppercut to the hook. So that's where she needs the defense in order to get in with the head movement and slip out and land her own punches.
Absolutely. So the other fight that's going to happen this weekend too, and it's actually going to take place in my hometown at the Armory in Minneapolis. We got Peter Quillen versus Caleb Truax, the former IBF super middleweight champion of the world, though, bro. I kind of look at this as kind of like a crossroad fight for both guys because they're both off of losses, though, bro. So they're looking to try to bounce back in their careers and things of that sort. So I guess we could start by John Black. Johnny, how do you see coming out of that fight between Quillen versus Truax?
Hey, bro. Sorry, bro. I ain't never heard of these two guys.
You never?
Damn. I'm just hearing about these guys right now, but I'm gonna check them out.
All right. For sure. You can skip that. No problem. So, Hyphy, I know you don't like to talk about potential fights. You want to talk about fights that actually do happen, though, bro. So, are you going to check out that fight, and what do you expect out of it?
Man, I'm gonna keep it true with you. I don't know. I might just go ahead and watch it if I'm at the crib, but nigga, it's not like this is a fight I'm running home to see. So I really ain't got nothing to say about it. Y'all could just pass to somebody else.
Nah, it's all good. That's all good. I guess we could probably throw that out the window then. So, but the other thing I would say this though, man. I mean,
man, don't let them do you like that, man. This fight is in your city. You feel me?
Yeah.
You should be able to talk about it and honor it, man.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Oh yeah, absolutely. My fault. So, but yeah,
hey, Abel, how you gonna throw it out without asking Stormy, man?
All right. Man, me too, bro.
All right. My fault.
Wait a minute, was I a little long-winded about Claressa or what?
Well, I'm making sure that you get your breath back together, though. But okay, my bad. Okay, so how about you, Stormy B, man? What do you see coming out of that fight?
I think it's going to be very interesting for Peter Quillen to show if he wants to be in the fight game or not. Because as we discussed before, he's kind of at a crossroads and he hasn't given us enough confidence in him that this is really what he wants to do. I think that Danny Jacobs' loss really upset his train and his cart, his path, whatever he was on. It kind of showed him, oh, this is for real. You understand? So yes, he hasn't really bounced back from that against quality opposition. And the guy he's fighting tonight is a truth tester. Mm-hmm. If he's not in there mentally in the way he needs to be, Caleb is going to show it.
Right.
He's going to bring all of that out of him. So that's why on the video I did on them earlier in the week, I said that people really should, maybe even put everything on a record or whatever, because everyone wants to watch Claressa, but go back and watch and see what happens with this, because Quillen it's time to piss or get off the pot, so to speak, so that's what it is with these two guys. But understand that Truax has a victory over James DeGale. Right. And do you think that James DeGale could beat Peter Quillen?
That's a good question. I think Peter Quillen at this point, no. But before the Jacobs fight, I probably say I would. But that's now a tricky question at this point.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, if you looked at DeGale and how he was touted, we know he's at the end of the line now. He's retiring and everything. But I'm just saying that at the time that Caleb beat him, mm-hmm. DeGale was touted as a champion. Well, he was a champion. He lost his title to Truax. So it's like, was Kid Chocolate on level of equation with DeGale? Mm-hmm. And if you do consider him to be so, I didn't, because I felt he was kind of more unproven. But if he were, and Truax beat DeGale, then quite naturally, you might be in for an upset tonight.
Okay. All right. For sure. How about you, 503?
Yeah. Hold on, man.
Yeah, go ahead. Take your time. So I guess I'll probably discuss this a little bit though while 503 gets himself together. The one thing that I'll say too about this fight though, man, Caleb Truax, is very capable of winning this fight though too, and he's also from Osseo, Minnesota. Shout out to them, bro. So, but the one thing I'll say too is this: the last few fights that I've seen out of Peter Quillen is that when he gets hit, he gets a little shaky. You know what I mean? Because I don't know if it's I don't know if if he just is not able to take a good hit, or it's just when he gets hit, he just flusters to the pressure. You know what I mean? So, but if Peter Quillen doesn't come in prepared to beat Caleb Trucks, we could probably see another fighter just probably winding down his career though too. But Caleb Trucks is very capable. Being anybody though, bro. He did beat James McGill to win the IBF belt. And it's gonna be an intriguing fight to say the least, though, bro. So let me see if 503 is ready. Y'all settled up there, 503?
Yeah, man. My bad, man. You gotta excuse my kids, man. I'm sitting in the car at the grocery store, man. But man, this hold on, baby. Hold on. Hey, y'all be quiet. Yeah, man. This fight, man, I think is it's like a fight. It's like a fighter of this fight is gonna determine like who's gonna be at gatekeeper status. Didn't I say be quiet? This fight gonna determine like who's gonna be at gatekeeper status, man. You know what I'm saying? And winner probably gonna get another title shot because I think it's for a title eliminator, man. But I'm going with True Rise, man, in this fight, man. But I'm more excited to see the undercard. You got Joey Spencer on the undercard. You got Lil B-Hop. So I'm gonna be looking forward to seeing what they do. You know what I'm saying? I like watching the prospects, man. That's all I got.
Okay, for sure, man, for sure. I'm anxious to see too how Joey Spencer's gonna look, tonight there as well, though, man. Because and also let me check out the chat though, real quick, though, man. We got Mr. Boxing today, also represent Minneapolis, though, bro. Salute, man. Thank you for coming in. We also got
Mr. Boxing.
Yeah, man. If you haven't checked out Mr. Boxing's channel, though, bro, one of the best. He is really has excellent insight in terms about the heavyweight boxers too. So y'all go ahead and check that out, though, man. I'm gonna put the link in the chat, though, bro, so you can go ahead and subscribe to him, bro. Very, very incisive breakdown is about the heavyweights, though. And then we also got the troll assassin there too, Mr. Gregory Ryan in the house. What up, baby? All right, there you go. There,
Mr. Wyatt.
Yes, sir, man. Yes, sir. So, let me get this off my mind though, too, man. With all this BS that's going down in boxing, though, bro. You know what I'm saying? All these different fights that's not happening at the moment, though, man. I'm just tired of all the ducking, though, man. Let me just give you what really grinds my gears type of thing. What really been grinding my gears this week, man, is that Mr. Tank Davis putting his duck face on and not stepping up to the plate and fighting against Vasyl Lomachenko, though, bro. It's like, come on, bro. Like, this dude is this dude's learning, scaring the shit out of you, man? Are you serious? You know what I mean? Like, come on, bro. Like, this dude's got little itty bitty arms. I mean, he can't really hit you and everything, though, man. I mean, come on, bro. Like, are you serious, though, man? Yeah, man.
I don't want to hear no tough guy shit from that dude.
I know, bro.
I want to hear you threaten nobody.
I know, bro. Like, dude, like Tank. I mean, here's the thing. He stepped up on Terence Crawford. He also stepped up on who else? On Deontay Wilder. And now this little Eastern European guy, Mr.
He'll step up on the brothers and
he step on the brothers. Yeah, he's like he'll step on the brothers, and then when it comes, and then basically this little Eastern European guy, Mr. Lomachenko, as Black Fight Fan TV likes to call him, Mr. White Jesus. Like, are you kidding me, man? You know what I'm saying? Like, I just want to get off my mind on that, though, bro. So, but hey, let's hear some from John Black Johnny. What's been on your mind lately about all the BS that's going on in boxing?
Man, it's just if they don't want to give it, bro, you just gotta take it and move on.
Right.
They don't want to give you the best fight, and the way you respond to that is you stop supporting these fights. You try to hit the bottom line, make them try to understand that at the end of the day, the fans is the ones paying the bills. But about this Lomachenko and Tank thing, bro, Tank is just a joke because I believe if he lands a clean left hand or the right hand on Lomachenko, I think he's going to seriously hurt Lomachenko and finish him off. But I don't know why he don't want to do that. He a joke, though.
Okay, yeah, for sure. Salute to Big Money, though, man. He said, let me know when you're in Dallas next time. I'll be at the next fight. I want smoke, Hyphy.
Hey, he can sit his ass down for all I care. But let me go ahead.
All right, go ahead and smoke. Go ahead and cook, baby.
Hey, well, let me call out somebody. I'm gonna call out the fans. Look, it's the fans that's going on and always talking about these boxers that be ducking when you got real fighters out here that's about to fight. Like this month, you got like good fights on paper. You got the rematch between Rungvisai and what's his name, Estrada. So you got good fights that's about to happen.
Yes, sir.
So,
I won that first
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Hey, wait,
yes,
hold on. All right, because I just read the chat and now I see, you know what I'm saying, how the nigga put it. The nigga Big Money. Hey, we ain't gonna make this shit up on Able channel, but nigga, if you really need to holler at me, just holler at me, homie. Highfield at Gmail. We can set it up. If you really need to holler at me, nigga. You know damn well I was in Texas last time. Came by myself. Nigga, you want to see me, you can holler at me, homie.
We can do it on YouTube pay-per-view. I'll be on that card versus pussy-ass Steve Kim and Doug, not Fred Fisher. Both them niggas can fight me in a tag team same night.
Matter of fact, somebody else go. I don't even feel like talking no more.
Go ahead and cool off, baby. Go ahead and cool off. So, you know how that go, though, man. But actually, oh man, you know how high feet go, bro. So, yeah, that's right, though, man. Oh, no holds barred with that. So, I was actually wanted to talk about the interview that Mr. Worldbreaker Fighting and Mr. Curtis Anderson had with Mr. Doug Fisher of Ring Magazine, though, bro. I heard a lot of different various opinions and different viewpoints about that interview, though. But mostly I heard some stuff from Focus Ball, man. So go ahead and cook on that, Focus Ball.
I mean, I wasn't in the interview. I was just trying to start beef with Dougie Fisher. But if I'm a cook on it, there's a few angles I could take that from. You know, my thing is, it seemed like he was trying to deny that there's racism in sports and the black people are the ones just crying wolf and we're the ones who are actually racist. Yet he calls himself a boxing journalist, says the LDBC is nothing but negativity. I didn't get to see the end of the interview, but I had some few choice words and questions and statements for him. And just the boxing media in general, right? So check this. He is boxing media, old media, right? So people from his field, there was a guy named Jack, I think Lemon or London. I can't remember what his name was. But he wrote back during the era of the Great White Hope, he wrote something about, oh, naturally I'm siding with the white man because I'm white. Ask the Negro who he would side with, you know? So I find it interesting that when black people start to come together, everyone's like, oh, that's racist. That's you guys don't want to fight each other, or you know what I mean?
Right.
But if we go through journalism, the history of it, you have to understand the way people learned about boxing back in the day was number one, the radio, number two, the newspaper, and three, the theaters.
Yep.
So only the hardcores went to the theaters and got the film and watched it. But if you weren't a hardcore, you probably listened to it on the radio. You hear the color commentator coloring it a certain way, you know? So what essentially is going on in boxing is that over 100 years ago, one guy, John L. Sullivan, said, hey, listen, he didn't say it verbatim, but if you're a king, emperor, or a world leader, whatever the fuck you want to be, a military general, I don't care what you are. If you step in this ring with me, I'll fuck you up. If we fought, if the ruler of the world was decided on a man-to-man pugilism match, then I am the man. And that's what it means to be the heavyweight champion. So as you all know, back in the day, blacks were not allowed to challenge for that belt. You feel me? Now, it wasn't blacks who made it a racial thing. It was one particular group of people who, again, according to like a 1910 publication, it said pugilism, the sport of pugilism, belongs explicitly to the English race, you know? So there's a lot of publications that were extremely racist and extremely prejudiced in boxing. And it shaped the narrative that blacks were inferior monkeys that did not deserve to challenge for the belt because they're inferior monkeys. They would draw Jack Johnson as a monkey. They called Sam Langford the Boston Tar Baby, you know? So essentially what it ended up happening was once they finally let Jack Johnson in that ring, and we all know what happened there. He eventually won and started the Great White Hope era. After they drew the color line again, they eventually let a black guy challenge for the title after a couple years. And that man was Joe Louis, the longest reigning heavyweight champion, most title defenses, I think 24 or 25 heavyweight title defenses. Even went to war and served his country, came back, won it again, right? Now, Joe Louis was, not to disrespect his name or anything, but he's what you would say, he's the white man's black man. In that, in order for him to challenge for the belt, he had to agree to be the way that his handlers wanted him to be. And that was, you don't smile, you don't brag. Basically, when they're asking you for comments, you're going to be extremely humble, and you're not going to like knock a white guy out and cheer over his body. You're not going to do that. That's what Jack Johnson did. And we made sure you guys never got it again. So that was the only reason he got to challenge for it, because he agreed to certain conditions. And even then, he wasn't that kind of guy. But essentially, after him, it was just black, with a few white guys here and there. But then there was like a 20, 30-year stretch where the heavyweight championship only changed hands from one black to one black. And what happened at that point was, actually even before that point, but this kind of, when they weren't beating us in the ring, I say us as if I was there, shit. When they weren't beating them in the ring, they started beating them in every avenue of boxing outside of the ring. In the promotion, the publication of like, sports publications and whatnot, where they print and write about these people, in the commentary, basically all these bodies, the sanctioning bodies, the everybody that isn't in the ring boxing, and they managed to color it and print things in a certain way, you know, that kept black boxers down. Top Rank is known for this. You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Comments like from Abel Sanchez, "Oh, black boxers don't fight in an exciting style."
Oh,
that goes back 100 years. That's another way of saying something very racist that they used to say back in the day. You know, it's like, okay, we can't stop him from knocking our guy out, but here's what we can say: "Oh, nobody wants to watch that. That shit's boring." Oh, okay. So anytime they say black boxers are boring, there's a history of that. The history is they used to knock your ass out. You know, so Dougie Fisher and pussy ass Steve Kim, you're a fucking beta male pussy. I think you have a vagina, Steve Kim. You look like you have a vagina. Like,
oh man. Woo!
So what they do, the reason we're coming at them is because what you guys are saying is a watered down version of what they used to say in old media explicitly, which was basically overt racism. You know, the demographic, oh, it won't sell, things like that. No, that was ways to sabotage these black boxers. Now, this fucking, I don't even know what to call him. Bro, without taking a shot at anybody's race, anybody's culture.
Go ahead.
Listen, I'm not trying to shit on nobody's culture, so I apologize in advance. Mm-hmm. This motherfucker said that, oh, Christina Hammer is going to fight in a Hollywood bout. Bro,
right.
When I catch you, I'm gonna make you answer some tough questions.
Yes, sir.
I'm not gonna assault you, but I'm gonna ask you some tough questions, bro. So here's my statement. Name the last time, Kim is a Korean name. Name the last time there was a great Korean female boxer that anyone gave a shit about. Mm-hmm. Okay, so you guys don't have any? All right, so I suggest you shut the fuck up, because our female boxer will kill you, Steve Kim. And she'll beat the shit out of any of your boxers. Oh, you don't have any? Then you should probably shut the fuck up.
Right.
What gives you what makes you a boxing analyst or a boxing reporter? You come from. Where do you come from? What pedigree do you have that makes you a legitimate source that people want to hear you talk about boxing?
Right.
Fuck that nigga. Yeah, but someone else can cook.
All right. Actually, all right. There you go. So anyone else want to cook?
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and hear from John
Another
Black.
hand.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead and cook, bro. Eritrean style. Go.
Hey, bro. What was the question, bro?
We were talking about the your reaction to the we were talking about the reaction to World Breaker Fighting's interview and the conversation with Doug Fisher from Ring Magazine. Oh, bro, I know you got some stuff. I know you got some stuff you want to get off your chest. So go ahead, bro.
Bro. I mean, that was an excellent interview by World Breaker. Shout out to World Breaker. But Doug Fisher's some of the points he made, bro. Like, I'm just wondering, bro. Why are you back dancing like this?
Mm-hmm.
What are you trying to get out of this? You should know from history that back dancing ain't never gonna save you.
Right.
So why are you trying to do this, folks?
I can answer that.
All right, for sure. Go ahead, Focus Ball. You can answer that question.
Okay, so again, I'm not trying to shit on anybody's race, but boxing is a fucking racially charged sport, bro. Like, let me share something. Growing up, like, I'm from Jamaica. You wouldn't know it to hear me speak, but manayad man, adesamaban. I'm gonna come here early, brother. Right? Respect. So, in Jamaica, like, my grandmother's a light-skinned Jamaican with nice hair and chinky eyes, So she's part Asian and some kind of Middle Eastern and black. But growing up, I always got the feeling that it wasn't good to be black. That the lighter you were, the better you were. I grew up thinking like that because that's everywhere you go in the world, bro. Everywhere you go in the world. In fact, if you study history of South America, the first time white people showed up, they thought they were gods, because their gods in their ancient mythology were white. And again, I don't have any hatred towards anybody for your race or your ethnicity. But growing up with the idea that it's bad to be black, seeing Michael Jackson on TV, that he changed his skin color, and then seeing slavery on TV at the same time, it kind of made me turn out to be a white man in a black man's body. I skateboard, I listen to rock, I spoke proper. So I was a lot like like Doug Fisher, But the more I observed and I learned to love my people and I learned to be black. But I also learned that there are forces out there made deliberately to keep people in that mentality, that the darker you are, the uglier you are. That's why people bleach their skin. That's why people straighten their hair. Bro, I used to straighten my hair and relax my shit all the time. And there's nothing wrong with that if that's your personal style. It doesn't mean you hate yourself. Bro. What's that?
Sorry to cut you off, bro, but if our people only knew the power, the blessing of being black, bro, because
that's what I'm saying, brother. I just recently learned that
blackness is the most powerful thing. Let me just tell the audience a little thing, something about blackness. When you go to outer space, what's the most powerful thing? It is a black hole.
Mm-hmm.
When you come to Earth, what is the most powerful cloth? It's the black cloth. What are the most powerful fruits? They're the darkest fruits. What's the most powerful plants? These are the darkest plants. You see the plants with the most carbon, they are like the most beneficial to your health. And then when you come...
No, finish your saying?
See, blackness is basically... blackness is... what I'm trying to say is... being black is probably the greatest thing you can ever receive.
Let me add to that. First off, two things, right? I used to study magic and sorcery. I'm making another channel called Healer the Mind Body Coach. And that's where I teach astrology, fitness, everything related to training the mind and body. Fanon had actually mentioned this about a woman named Helen Blavatsky. She was a wizard. She wrote a book on theosophy and magic. And that's where Hitler got his whole white supremacist idea from, supposedly, from Blavatsky, right? Which tell you I'm not even gonna get that's a subject for another day and another channel. But in one of her books, she was like, listen, there's different types of chi, if you will, in different body types, and different people express it different ways. But the black ones, especially the ones that were taken slaves in America, there's a reason why. Because they have a special chi that only they can it's a spectrum of energy that only the melanin in their skin lets them harness.
Can I say a little thing, bro?
Yes, brother.
Sorry to cut you off again, but I just want to say melanin. A lot of people confuse it. Melanin is not real. It's not a chemical. Melanin is basically just a Greek word meaning black. Actually, melanin is a metaphor for carbon. So melanin, the reason why we black people have black complexion in our skin is not because of melanin, it's because of carbon. So really, it's not melanin, it's carbon.
Whatever it is, essentially, what spiritualists say is that Negroes have something in their genetic makeup that allows them to tap into a spectrum of energy. This is why they're friggin' good athletes and all, et cetera, et cetera. I can tell you stories from our history that can prove that, but we'll save that for another time. Point being, I forgot the original point I was getting at. It was, so I grew up kind of whitewashed. You feel me?
Right.
Like a skateboard. I used to sing in a rock band, bro. You hear my voice? When I first got my job, my boss thought I was white because of the way I speak. So
really,
yeah. Until she met me in person, she's like, "I thought you were white."
What, like if I didn't even met you previously, I would have never assumed that you were white, though, bro. Maybe because I hanged out with a lot of black people in the time, so you know.
Yeah. It's because I speak a little. I'm speaking a little more free on the chats, but when I'm speaking professional, yeah, I sound like a Brit.
Oh, you sound like the white king English.
Yeah, a little bit. So, the point of me saying this right now is that Doug, you have to understand, everywhere you go in the world has that mentality, you know? And I don't know Doug Fisher. I don't know his family. I don't know where he comes from. But looking at him, I would say you're probably raised by both. You were raised on both sides. So like me, when I was whitewashed, you don't really see the racism and you think black people are just complaining. You get me? So I think he's got a whole dichotomy. Maybe he comes from a mixed background or some shit like that. But I think he's one of those people that are black when it's time to be black, when it's cool to be black. But when he's around his colleagues and his friends, he taps into his other side, you know?
All right, yeah, salute on that, and salute on your analysis and of your point, though, bro. So let me hear it from Stormy B, man, though, bro. So what's your takeaway from the conversation interview with on World Breaker Fighting with Doug Fisher of Ring Magazine? Stormy B, man, you there?
Yeah, I had to take myself off of mute. Okay. The way I saw the interview, I thought it was a very good interview. I thought that World Breaker handled himself very well for the content, you know, the subject matter at hand. But you could see that Fisher was backpedaling a lot, and also he was trying to give an impression that it's not what you think it is, or it's not what you're seeing. And that's what I didn't like. And like when he there was a point where he pointed out I think the last 5 fighters of the year or something like that. And I think the last person of color was Adonis Stevenson, right? And then it was Lomachenko and Kovalev and all these other guys. And even when you talk about trainer of the year or something like that, for a publication that has the coverage, the primary coverage over a sport where it's predominantly people of color, right, participating, the athletes, when you can't consider more of them, you're already speaking volumes about what the problem is. And I wish I could have been on that panel to kind of say some things, but it would not have gone as smoothly, because I like to challenge the truth. And you can't spit in my face and tell me that it's raining. Okay? This guy was trying to behave in a manner in which it's really not like how you guys are seeing it or saying it. BS. It is. All right. Max Kellerman just said on ESPN yesterday that Top Rank Boxing is the best boxing promoter and the biggest boxing promotions for the past 50 years. Where the hell did he get that? Where the hell did he get that? Straight out of his ass, because I could smell the shit a mile away.
I could probably say that it probably came from the top, probably from the people of Top Rank or ESPN that's trying to say, hey, Max, make sure to say this though, bro, so we can try to get some feeds though, man.
But what did I say earlier? When they couldn't beat us in the ring, it became, let's use the media, the promoters, everyone who speaks about boxing. And if there's any way to get boxing to people aside from what goes on in the actual ring, which a great majority of fans are not watching what's going on in the ring. They're watching the headlines, the reports, the news. So they're shaping a narrative. So the LDBC is here to fuck that narrative up. That's why you hate the LDBC.
Right. You know, the one thing. Go ahead, Stormy B, man.
No, and the thing about it is this: there's nothing wrong with exploiting the narrative, all right, and giving truth that's countering the falsehoods of that narrative. But you also have to stand guardedly against being biased, because who do you think we learn being biased from? Okay, so you could still blow up their falsehoods, but always do it mounted on a foundation of truth, because the truth will cast everything else that's a lie down. Okay, you have to be able to understand that, adopt that as a philosophy, and you can go forward in that truth. Anything else, it becomes your opinion. Anything else becomes your point of view and your angle. And that's what I try to stay guarded against, because a fact is a fact. It was a fact before I arrived on the scene. It's a fact presently. It'll be a fact after I'm gone. Okay. But a lie is something that is going to have to keep perpetuating through the scope of someone else's willingness to pass it on.
Right. Absolutely. And speaking of the man who's there at the interview, we got the OG, Curtis Anderson, in the house. What's going on, Curtis?
Hey, what's going on, Abel and panel, man? I'm sorry I'm late, man. I've been so busy today being on the phone, and my wife had a big vending event at the Robert Tree Hotel in Newark, you know, and she always going to these women's conferences, man, so I had to help out, and you know, I walked in the door a couple of minutes ago. You know, I don't know we getting off, but you know, I just had to get on at least for a little while.
Yeah. Hey, Curtis, did you see the park?
What'd you say?
Did you see what's going on over in the park in Newark?
You talk about Military Park or Lincoln Park?
No, the big one, the one with the fucking pond and shit.
Weequahic Park.
The light rail passes it.
Yeah, I think you talk about Weequahic Park. No, I came a different way. I was on the highway.
Bro, the hood's being taken over. The hood, there's like some kind of party, but we're the only ones not invited.
Wow, really?
Essentially, I stepped off the... Man, you'll see it if you fucking go outside. It's.
I'm going to ask somebody about it. It give me first-rate information.
Yeah. It's like a barbecue or some shit.
Wow.
Yeah, for sure though, man, for sure. And also, we got about 10 watching here, and for some reason too, I got about 10 dislikes. So I don't know where that came from though. I don't know just what happened with it, but I guess somebody decided to come in there, make multiple accounts, and just put in like 10 different dislikes though, bro. But it's fake though. It's all good though, man, because I know who the real supporters are. So I'm not budging one bit. So,
hey,
but
that's probably my fault. Seriously, when I got on my rant, they were like, "Man, fuck this nigga."
Oh, you know what I mean?
You go over my channel and give that hate too, pussy.
You know what? And probably because of the presence of Hyphy there in the building, though, bro. Because you know he always like to assassinate trolls and try to be, you know, looking down for some haters there. Hunt.
Hey, it just means we spitting that trill.
Oh yeah, absolutely though, man. Yeah, absolutely. And we got P Money in the building, though, man. What's going on, bro? Welcome to the chat, though, man. But yeah, we were actually discussing about the interview with dude Doug Fisher, though, bro. So you were actually there. You were actually there co-hosting that, though, bro. So, maybe you want to enlighten about some of the things that you took away from what you heard from Doug Fisher, though.
Well, things went a lot differently than I thought in a good way. I had Dougie Fisher all wrong. He stood on his square. He was cordial. He stayed for 3 hours. And when he got knocked off, he came back on. First, I thought he wasn't going to take the interview, and I was surprised that he did. And he didn't blink. He looked dead at us with a straight face. And that showed me a lot about his character. He wasn't nervous or, he didn't look down in the ground. He was comfortable. And it's strange, the chemistry was great. It was like, we're going to have him on again. He respects my boxing knowledge. He said, I see you're a historian. I said, yeah. And he know his boxing. That's what he do. So he has the inside job. So that's his livelihood. Me, I just, I got other things going on. But, I was very pleased. Now, people wanted us to have a sword fight and, slash his throat and everything like that. And it's like, nah, it was no need because it didn't go left. He was very forthcoming. He was polite. Now, I didn't agree with everything he was saying because he's still, under the Golden Boy umbrella. And I know how business works and everything. And, he respects the LDBC because he said, oh, I got these negative comments, Coon and this and that. But he said, being on the show, I look at the LDBC very differently. Mm-hmm. So, we was kind of bridging the gap between old media and new media. That's what you want. If you can solve problems without cursing and stuff like that, then that's a good thing. Because I was on the other, what's this boxing live stream, BDA. Boy, I wanted to hurt somebody real bad. I
was about to say though, Kurt, you were gonna go get some blood after that.
Oh man, I don't know if you listened to it, but I ain't never been so upset since I've been on the live stream. But you try not to lose your cool, man. There's a lot of people sitting in jail because they made that, emotional choice to hurt somebody, and we have laws. So you don't want to do that. There's a lot of people sitting in jail wish they could have had those few seconds back. But I'm glad. I'm very proud of the live stream, and it is what it is, man. I mean, I'm very happy. We're gonna have them on. We're gonna try to have other guests on, and we just a channel that's like on the move, man. That's what you want. Now, somebody come in disrespectful, like say like we interviewed Steve Kim, and we know what he said, and he's tight and condescending, then it's gonna be a bad atmosphere, and usually an argument comes after the bad atmosphere.
Right.
But Dougie Fisher was a lot different than I thought.
I have to agree, though. I will say this, though. I do agree that he really came on. He stood. I will say that he was a person that. Was that focus ball?
I'm talking shit.
Oh, okay. So the one thing I respect Doug Fisher on this is he came in. He spoke his piece, but what really downgraded and maybe convinced me of what my belief of this man in the first place is when he was talking about the whole email controversy, about the fact that there was a freelance writer out in Mexico that wrote a racist article there, but it somehow, some way, still was able to print through. The bottom line is this. I work in journalism media, though. I work for various I worked in various publications in college. If any racist, publication comes through there, you know who's going to suffer the most? That publication, because you're basically what your stance is that you have no problem supporting that kind of racism, being on your publication. You know what I'm saying? So, the one thing I would have questioned Doug Fisher is this: since you're the editor, why did you allow this kind of writing and this kind of language to seep in through your publication? Because remember, this has been a publication that's been there since before we were all born. And then all of a sudden you decide to bring in it, you come in there and allow that to happen on your watch, despite the fact that it's under the umbrella of Golden Boy Promotions, who had no respect for African-American fighters. I just have a problem with that. And that's where it made me convinced that he still stays on his square though, man. And his words didn't convince me anything to change my opinion of him. So, but let me hear from Mr. Hyphy there if he wants to come on though. I think he's finally cooled off at the moment though, bro. So, do you want to cook on anything else, Hyphy?
Hey, well, 503, he ain't winning a while, so let him go first.
Well, he just left though, bro, because I think he got some kids stuff there to take care of.
All right, well, yeah. I'll kill this nigga real quick. I still don't like no goddamn Steve Kim, the same way I don't like no Dougie Fisher. Look, I respect what World Breaker did because he came on and he had to basically have an interview that way, because if it would have been somebody like Ticket TV that hopped on, homie, that interview would have been over in like 2 minutes because Ticket would have pressed his ass. So I respect what World Breaker did as far as the way that he went about it. But I'm gonna tell this to everybody. I'm saying to just watch boxing. Period. Stop giving these dudes so much goddamn credit. I see a whole bunch of people. We did something amazing today. We had Dougie Fisher on. Bruh, last time I checked, niggas wasn't checking for no goddamn Dougie Fisher. LDBC could go on and chill boxing talk. Them niggas could put in. Have a motherfucking live stream and have like 800 people in live stream. Dougie Fisher don't got 800 people searching for that nigga in the whole day. That nigga need the LDBC, not vice versa. So it ain't no goddamn accomplishment to have that nigga on no stream. Fuck that nigga, man.
No, I do understand that perspective though, bro. And let me tell you this though. I wish that he was on Ticket TV's live stream. It would have been a fucking massacre in that motherfucker.
You should have been on BFTV.
Hey, and because I see so many people doing this shit all the time. Niggas come on in the chat. Did y'all see what Stephen A. Smith said? Skip Bayless said, bruh, why y'all giving power to these niggas that don't even do boxing like us? Stop giving these niggas power. Them niggas ain't shit, man.
You know what though, Hyphy? The thing is, I haven't even watched a First Take video in almost the last few months because the thing is, I'm already sold about what the guy is. He's basically a sellout who always tries to sell a bogus narrative that he's down with the brothers, though, man. But last time, absolutely. And the other thing too is this, and this is a little personal thing. The way he keeps defending Aaron Rodgers, though, like this man deserves to be traded. He's the best thrower in the NFL. Like, dude, shut the fuck up, man. I swear, though, man. Go ahead, focus, real quick.
Like, I understand if that's what you do to feed your family, if you gotta dance a little bit, there ain't nothing wrong with that, because that's how you bring the money home. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But I will say, he's not. I agree with Hyphy. He's not a boxing expert. He's not an MMA expert. They don't know shit, and they're kind of paid to do a role. You feel me?
Right.
In a sense, he's kind of an actor.
Right. You know what I mean?
He's an analyst and an actor, and that's not for real combat sports fans. These shows ain't shit. The truth is right here.
Yep, I agree. I actually do agree with that because, I always say this to basketball journalists. You may cover the sport, but if you go into the locker rooms and understand the environment there, you have no idea the kind of language that comes out. Because remember, Ticket TV used to play, in the professional ranks and understands the environment of the locker room. So when you hear something that Ticket TV says, you got to take that to the bank because he knows what the hell he's talking about, though, bro. Because I went in there, I went to the two call-in shows, though, bro, against the advice of Hyphy. And also, we actually did chop it up, though, bro. And the one thing I will always respect out of Ticket is that he always gives it to you raw and gives you unchecked, and it's going to be uncomfortable for people. But you know what? It's just the only way to get the point across. You know what I mean? So, I will say this, though, Curtis, though, man, salute to you and World Breaker for doing a great job with that interview, though, bro. But I think I'm agreed with the majority of the other brothers in the chat. If this were either of us, we would destroy that dude. What is it?
We need to get him. We need to get him and Steve Kim. So here's my thing. I'm not too sore with Dougie Fisher. Like I get it. You're doing your job. Steve Kim is a blood clot pussy because it's. I don't know if it's the black man in me, the need to protect the sister. You feel me?
Right,
bro. Where do you come from?
He said he came from Missouri. That's what he said,
bro. Do you come from a people that are known for boxing, that boxing is in your blood, that you're going to come out and disrespect the people who dominate boxing and they're queen. You feel me?
Right.
So I would love for him to get on BFTB or step in the ring with Claressa Shields.
Right. No, I definitely understand that, because if here's the thing though, I highly doubt, and no disrespect to you, Curtis, I don't think Steve Kim will ever get on, because I think he's too much of a coward, to stick on to what the stuff he says. And you saw, and any of you guys who have been subscribed to Barbershop Conversation with Frederick Hawthorne, you've seen some of the videos when he engages with Steve Kim on camera, and also the stuff that you see behind the scenes. You know what I mean? Because Steve Kim is the kind of person that will say some stuff to your face, but then he'll basically sneak this to you behind your back. You know what I mean? You kind of see kind of perspective that, Curtis?
I'm gonna say this, man. People want us to destroy Dougie Fisher before he came on. If he wasn't disrespectful and he was cordial, I mean, why? Why would I need to destroy him when he didn't even need to be destroyed? Why? So I'm glad we did the interview like that. All that emotional hood bullshit ain't gonna get you nowhere. I'm 52. I've been through that. If Focus Ball can tell you how Newark is, and the reason I brung that shit up is because when you go by emotions and you have the mentality, I'm gonna destroy this nigga before anything pop off. Where I'm from in Newark, you're not gonna last long.
Yeah, you create. Listen. No, I get that. But
because you create a negative atmosphere. And with Dougie Fisher, whatever, I mean, I didn't even know he's going to take the interview. I told Warbrick, I said, he ain't going to take it. And then when he got on, people in the chat, they was like, yeah, kill that nigga, slash his throat, fuck that nigga and all that. And I'm like, I'm looking at him, I'm like, nah, he ain't do nothing yet. Now, if he would have got disrespectful, then I would have went at him a different way, but it was no need to. I'm not 30, 35 anymore, man. When you get this, when people get this age, then you'll see what I'm talking about, because knowledge and wisdom is going to come to play. And I do have a bad temper. Listen, man, listen, like I said, people that's emotional, your emotions will always get you in trouble. And life is like a checker game, man. You got to think first before you move. And that same mentality got me through the mean streets of Newark. If I had this mentality, I'll be in shootouts. My brother's in jail now because he for attempted murder. And I call him dumb because you had all the advantages and you're rotting in jail, and I'm here, going on worldwide trips. But it is what it is, man. You have to check your emotions. I mean, I don't agree with everything with Fisher, but you have to understand his position. He's under Golden Boy umbrella, so he's not going to agree with everything. But I'm glad we did have the interview.
Respect that, though, bro. Because also, I want to address another thing, though, too, because Gregory Wright said that give World Breaker credit for his approach. A narrative was addressed and debunked the relative character to the LDBC. You know what I mean? Here's what I think. Here's what I think that a lot of the old media doesn't, really recognize. When people use the hashtag LDBC, they will use it to try to use the brand of the LDBC to try to sold a false narrative about the whole boxing MMA community, though, bro. That is basically untrue and also false. And I will give him credit for searching out, Trap House and to see, the kind of stuff the kind of content that he sends out, though, bro. Because the one thing that we need to be careful of is that we need to be careful of the people who using the hashtag and using the brand of the 4 letters, because what is going to happen is that it's going to push out a false narrative that is untrue. Without the efforts of Curtis Anderson and World Breaker, who went out of their way, to get those guys on the air, it may not have been possible, that kind of thing. You know what I mean? So, that's kind of my stance on that, though, bro. So, also I want to give a little shout out to it's the 78 Sports TV, especially the whole time they've been pushing out the fight between the Claressa Shields and Christina Hammer, though, bro. I mean, I will say this though too, and I almost forgot about this. because I want to talk to this a little bit with Focus Ball about this though, bro. We got some good fights in MMA though, bro. But I'm gonna tell you this right now: the UFC is in a bad position at the moment because you're allowing this motherfucker, Conor McGregor, to do whatever he wants, and now he's getting himself into trouble though, man. So, and then he had the audacity to disrespect Khabib's, wife and shit though, bro. That shit ain't cool though, man.
I guess he didn't get his ass beat the first time. Hey,
right.
Real quick, Curtis, I appreciate what you said, brother, and I take everything you say as, or at least on the subject, I take that to heart. That's good advice because I have gotten in trouble because of certain things like that. You feel me? So again, I don't advocate running up on people and smashing them for their opinions. Steve Kim is entitled to his opinion. Dougie Fisher is entitled to his opinion. But this is boxing. I want to box. If you guys are going to talk shit about my people, I'd like to box for the honor of my people in the ring where it's legal. If you're not trying to do that, then get up out my face.
I totally understand though that got Focus Ball and
Yo,
so,
hey,
yeah, go ahead, man.
and let me just say, to Kurt, and that's why I just said, when Kurt came in and said that, that's why I said it would not have been good for somebody like Ticket to interview the dude, because I know how when people just acting and riding off emotion, bro, if Ticket would have interviewed that dude, he would have hung up in like 2 minutes. Niggas wouldn't have had no type of interview at all, so we would have still been at the same point. That's why I said, it's not right for everybody. That's why I said respect World Breaker.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, though.
World Breaker.
Oh, yeah, salute to World Breaker and Curtis Anderson. I will tell you this, though, man. I bet, when we get older, you probably understand how to contain and, control ourselves at the moment, though. But, it's all we all have this kind of energy, just wanting to get back at somebody, though. But, I've been taught, to make sure that, to not judge a person before you get to talk to them first. You know what I mean? So, you know what I'm saying, Curtis?
Yeah, let me address that. We as black men, we seem to have an aggression towards each other, man, like animalistic. I understand where it comes from. It's a psychological thing. We've been conditioned to be pitted against one another. I understand all that. I'm from the hood. I'm from the street. You know what I mean? But, I still got friends who may be a little younger than me, 48, 49. The same thing they was doing 25, 30 years ago, they still doing today. And to me, that's sad because if you 50 years old and you was doing the same thing you did when you was 20, that means you wasted 30 years of your life.
Correct.
You didn't advance. You didn't do nothing. You fighting with young boys who got the block now, because downtown Newark is like a hood with stores. Newark downtown is hood is I don't know what, your baby mama's fighting baby mama's daddy versus the current boyfriend, man, blood and Crip sets hanging out, and that stuff like exists. That. Yeah, downtown Newark on what? Yeah, because I used to have a booth down there, and my wife was like, I don't want you down there no more, even though everybody knows me. They call me Kareem in Newark. They was like, everybody knows me because black Muslims, they're powerful in Newark, man. They got a lot of influence in Newark. Mazes and everybody seems to have a Muslim nickname, so they gave me one. But anyway, and I'm like, damn, he's still doing that now. When you young, you 18, 19, I can see you going through the street phase. You're influenced by the music and all that. But, me, man, having gray in my bed, my mind is just completely different, man. Now, I was 25, 30 years old. I might have said, Doug Fisher, you itch-ass nigga and whatever. But it's different now, man. But I'm just glad. Now, Ticket TV, he do what he do. That's fine. BFTV, everybody got their own niche. Everybody does things differently. I don't knock them for that. Everybody's their own man, but the Nets knocked off 76ers, yeah. But anyway, I just see things differently. I'm more calmer, at this age or whatever. So that's how I just feel about it.
Yeah, absolutely, though, man. And I'm gonna try to switch transition to basketball talk a little bit because P Money just reported to me that Luke Walton is now the head coach of the Sacramento Kings, which I knew it was going to happen because You knew that Vlade Divac was kind of eyeing on Luke Walton to get the Kings job, though. I just knew it was gonna happen, though, man. You know what I'm saying? And also, and shout out to the Brooklyn Nets for being the Philadelphia 76ers. You know, and Curtis, I'm sure you're happy about that a little bit.
Yeah, I don't have a basketball team, but I do kind of root for Brooklyn. They are a lot better this year than I thought they would be. They was in a lot of great games, man. They blew some games, but they're in the playoffs, man. And that's what it is. I used to be a huge Bull fan. That's when Coach Jordan was there. But it's good to see the Brooklyn Nets win, man. And I'm kind of surprised they beat the 76ers. I always thought Philly was missing something this year. I couldn't put my hand on it, but they didn't have the intangibles. I always thought they was missing something. So shout out to the Nets. I'm watching Toronto and Orlando. That's what's going on right now.
Yeah, salute to the Orlando Magic for making the playoffs, though, bro. I think they might do some good stuff out of that, though, man. But, you know what I mean? And also, hey, we haven't heard from John Black Johnny in a little bit, though, on all the stuff we were cooking on. Anything you got to say about that, Mr. John Black Johnny?
Hey, bro. Nah, you see, like I'm very limited when it comes to basketball. I just watch it for the fun.
Oh no, not basketball. I was talking about the whole topic, the whole all the stuff that we're talking about with the relating to the Doug Fisher interview. My bad.
Oh, the Doug Fisher. I mean, it was excellent work by Curtis and World Breaker. Excellent interview, but I'm still not convinced. To me personally, once somebody shows coonish tendencies, I feel like they always gonna be that way.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, but shout out to Curtis and World Breaker. It was an excellent interview.
Oh yeah, absolutely, though, man. You know what? Those two were able to open up an avenue that had never been opened before. So, hopefully that down the line, other old media members may look at the LDBC a little bit more differently at this point. Because we're not now it's becoming more legitimized, and I never thought that it would be the case when the YTBC broke apart a couple of years ago. So, you know what I'm saying? So, it was a really monumental kind of thing, though, bro. So, but yeah, man. So let's get away from that a little bit, though, man, and talk about all the stuff that's going on in MMA at the moment, though, bro. I'm gonna just lead it off with focus ball, man. So let me get this off my chest, though, bro. I can't stand the UFC anymore. I can't do this anymore.
Listen.
You know what I mean? Let me get this off my chest, and then I'm gonna turn it to you. You know what I mean? The audacity of USC to continuously trying to feed a white hype type of fighter to push their brand, but then all of a sudden you got Tyron Woodley, and you got other dominant black fighters out there that is capable of doing this stuff, and then you still allow Conor McGregor to act like a fool, do some dumb shit. You know what I mean? It's like, come on, bro. The USC can live fine without Conor McGregor. I'll let you lead off with that.
Yo. I feel your frustrations, man. I always say I'm done with it, and then they put on a good fight. I'm like, all right, you got me. But the fuckery is unbelievable. It's the same thing with boxing. And first off, I want to say that I never originally, when I started watching combat sports, it was not a race thing to me. I didn't. I swear to God, I did not see race. I did not see the color.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I remember being in a mixed martial arts gym out in Long Island, and I remember one of my high school coaches, like he was there. He was training my boy in boxing, and basically he ended up at the same gym, and he took me to the side and whispered, he's like, "Yeah, remember, you black, these white boys, they don't got your best interest in mind." And I'm like, bro, get out of here with that fucking old nigga shit. You feel me? So
right.
I wasn't trying to hear that. And I still don't believe that those guys are racist or have anything against black people, because they've never shown me anything like that, and that's why I continue to train with them. But in my first fight, I remember that as soon as this dude finally got me to the ground and got a mount, I heard someone shout out, "Yeah, fuck that nigger up. Fuck that nigger up." And it dawned on me, like, oh, they're trying to see a black dude get, that's what they're here for. And I got out of the position. I'm like, I'm not going home and remembering that that's how I lost. Nope, I'm getting up. Got up and head kicked that motherfucker. Did lose a decision, but still, I wasn't going out like that. You
Right.
know, now that made me realize, yeah, it is like that. And when I started watching boxing, when I got into the history of boxing, because that's what I got into first, learning about Jack Johnson and the early days of the heavyweights.
Yep.
So I started realizing something because I was an MMA fan for a long time. And once I heard the Jack Johnson story and got to understand the politics in boxing, I'm like, oh, that's where the UFC gets it from. It's the same shit.
Mm-hmm.
It seems as if it was created because boxing was being dominated. And they're trying to create the America's sweethearts with Ronda Rousey's and your Conor McGregor's. It's the same Bob Arum thing. Take an Eastern European, or just take a European, say he's the next Muhammad Ali, and there you go. They do it all the time. But with that in mind, what's that?
No. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
With that in mind, there's plenty of great white fighters that I respect and like Stipe Miocic versus Daniel Cormier. I wasn't rooting for Daniel Cormier. I was rooting for Miocic because I like him. Not because of his skin color, even though Daniel's technically black. I mean, he's black, but I was not rooting for him because he's not my favorite fighter. So what I do see in MMA is that they bend the rules and basically they mess with the matrix so that guys who would not have been champion get to be champion because they want a certain image that they can sell to America. You get me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I get you.
More to your point, Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson is the definition of pound for pound. He's the Sugar Ray Robinson of mixed martial arts because this guy's beating up everybody with their own style, right? And 11 straight title defenses, 12 straight title defenses, and then lost his 13th to a guy he rematched in a controversial decision. Dana White had the audacity to say he's not pound for pound number one. Conor McGregor is. Even though this guy has 12 straight title defenses against number one contenders.
Right.
You get me? Originally, they wanted to get TJ Dillashaw to beat him up. So TJ's like, oh, I'm the greatest ever. But he gets a fast track, gets sort of a fast track to the title and then gets a shot at a second title in a division he's never competed in. So he can be a two-weight world champion. But this guy pops for fucking EPO.
Yeah. All right. Feel you on that. So I got my chat, going around talking about the playoffs, though, man. So I'll go ahead and bounce around that a little bit, though, bro. So, yeah. So, I got, let's see here. We got P Money and then King Louis debating about who's going to get the finals, though, bro. So, you know what? Let me send this message out to everybody. I got the Golden State Warriors and the Milwaukee Bucks in the NBA Finals, and then they're going to beat the Warriors. They're going to beat the Bucks in 6 games. So, Hyphy, what do you think about the playoffs, though, bro? Any thoughts in mind, homie? Probably on mute at the moment there. So, okay, we'll just go ahead and move on from that, though, man. So, so I haven't heard from Stormy B, man, in a minute, though, bro. So, anything you want to cook on?
Well, I'm here, man. I'm giving support and everything, I don't have much to offer with the basketball world, what's going on. I've kind of put that down a while back, but
Nah, it's all right. I'm not worried about the basketball stuff, though, so I'm going to say that for another time, though. But anything in the world of boxing or anything else that's on your mind that's really crawling at your nerves lately?
As we get closer to the May 18th date of the Deontay Wilder fight, I'm thinking about how that fight might end up playing out because of the things that have been happening behind the scenes with Dominic Brazil and Wilder's camp. I'm hoping we're not looking at a fiasco where it turns into something that it shouldn't and it just be a boxing event. But I can't help but think that Brazil is kind of showing himself to be somebody that may be in this for ulterior motives,
Right.
That's why I hope that Deontay is very focused and he can get out there, take care of business, and land some shots on this guy and get him out of there.
Right. All right, for sure, for sure. Okay, so let me ask Curtis Anderson about tonight's big undisputed championship bout between the Claressa Shields and Christina Hammer, though, bro. So, what are you looking for out of this fight?
I think it's going to be super competitive. It's a 50-50 fight because I can both see how each other can lose, and I both can see how they can win. This is where your trainer earns his money because they both have major weaknesses. I'm picking Shields maybe by a close, if not majority decision, but I could also see Hammer winning very easily if she establishes distance and keep the jab in Shields' face. She can win because Shields is overly aggressive and she throw her shots too wide sometimes. She throw what you call in boxing terminology long punches. That's not always good because you can be countered, and she still has a lot of amateur residue on her shoulders. I'll feel much better about her chances if she would have waited. But kudos to both because they taken on major challenges with fighting each other. But Hammer leaves her chin exposed as well. It's going to be a good fight because both fighters have glaring weaknesses. And if I was Shield, I would smother her and throw a short left hook to the body and then bring it up to the head. Because I see Hammer leaves herself open for that punch and close. She don't like for her opponents to be inside. So that will be my main goal. John David Jackson can't see that, then he shouldn't be training no more.
Oh yeah, cannot wait for the fight tonight, though, man. So, okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up, though, bro. Tomorrow, I'm actually gonna call out Mr. Clean Louie, Mr. Cypher Supreme, and 501 Shy Boy. Come by 3 p.m. and I want you guys on this chat, and we're gonna discuss playoffs, though, man. Because I have a lot in my mind, though, man, and got a lot of predictions. You may think I'm crazy, though, bro. So, you know what I'm saying? So, come by 3 p.m. tomorrow, and we're gonna discuss all playoffs, though, man. So, and I want to call out Stay Ready, and just want to tell them though that I want to continue to get this debate about the James Harden travel thing, though, bro, because that's still on my mind. So let's start going down the line here, though, man. So let's start with Focus Ball. Go ahead and give me your last words.
Hey, yo, it's your boy, Healer, the mind body coach. I'm probably going to do a live stream later tonight for the fight with Claressa Shields and Hammer. And perhaps I'm definitely going to do one for MMA. I might, probably around 6. No, what time is it? It's about to be 6 right now. Shit, 7 or 8. Yeah, around 7 o'clock I'm going to do a stream. So make sure y'all come through and check it out. If anyone wants to get on the panel, hit me up, folksball@gmail.com. And check out my breakdown videos, support, all that good shit. And if you're ready to take your striking game to the next level, then visit us at thefocusballs.com.
All right, for sure, man, for sure. So let's go ahead and have Hypey there. Go ahead and give me your last words, brother.
Hey, yeah, my bad. I was washing my truck, but yeah, man, I'm gonna go ahead and watch that fight tonight as well. Look, just you know what I mean, show appreciation to both of these women because if everybody want to complain about the men boxers, they ain't fighting each other the best in the division. Well, shit, it took the women to go ahead and give us a fight between the two best in the not only the division but just in the sport period, at least on their side. So niggas go ahead and watch that fight tonight. Leave all the stupid comments alone about the women and all that. Watch the fight because it's a good fight. That's all I gotta say for now.
All right, for sure, though, man. So go ahead, Mr. John Black Johnny, my airtrain brother. Give me your last words.
Hey, bro. Peace. Peace to everybody on the panel. Make sure y'all take care. Watch the fight, support, and all that good stuff. Shout out to the LDBC. Thank you for having me, bro.
Absolutely, though, man, and I'll continue to talk to you about the scene behind the scenes, though, bro, about the Eritrean the discussion, though, we're gonna have next month, though, man. So hopefully we'll try to get this going, though, and hopefully we got people that are willing to talk. But let's go ahead, Curtis Anderson, go ahead and give me your last words.
Man, my apologies. I was late. I hate to being late to movies, anything, live streams. I just hate being late, but I was tied up earlier, man. And great panel. Abel. You got a great personality, man. And you're a basketball guy. I'm a basketball guy. We gotta chop it up in the history of the NBA, man, because I got a lot of knowledge like boxing when it comes to basketball. But it was great, and like I always say, man, same bad time, same bad channel.
All right, for sure, though, man. And Cypher Supreme, you asked me, can you do the show early? I'm gonna be in the Bucks tomorrow, though, bro. I'll tell you what, though. I'll do a special NBA playoff live stream at 1 p.m. Central Time, though, so that way we can have everybody else that want to put their thoughts in, though, bro, about all the other stuff, though, because the Bucks, though, man, they're wanting to be the favorites, though, man. But I got some stuff about that, so I'll do it at 1 p.m. Central Time. I'll post it in there for everybody to check it out, though. So that kind of thing. So Stormy B, man, give me your last words.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Shout out to the LDBC, and thank you, Abel Mehari, for having me on your panel here, man. Kurt is absolutely 100% correct in saying that you got a personality for this, man, and you bring a different type of energy, which is very positive to what you're doing. So I will be here, supporting your channel, even when I can't get on or whatever. I'll still stop in, make comments in your chat, and like your content, because I think it provides even more variety to what's out there and gives an alternative to things that are being repetitive. So it's like, salute to you with what you're doing. I encourage you, uphold you, and support you, and I hope you get better with it and more supporters out there behind you. So with that, I'd like to say, salute to the chat, everybody that was out there listening. And thanks for having me on again. Appreciate you.
Yeah, absolutely, though, man. So yeah, and then Curtis, I'm actually gonna talk to you behind the scenes, though, a little bit later on, in about an hour, though, bro. So we could discuss about it on Messenger, about all the different type of NBA history you know about, though, man. I'm ready to go ahead and put some more knowledge into my brain. So.
Yes, indeed, man. Yes, indeed. Yeah,
all
you
right.
got my phone number, right? Because I might be on the phone. I gotta make a couple more calls, but man, I got like 194 customers. But anyway, call me though, or if I don't answer, leave a text and I'll hit you right back.
Okay, just leave your number on the messenger then, and then I'll try to text you up. Okay.
Okay.
All right, for sure. So there you have it. That's another edition of the MehariNation Sports Podcast, though. I will be back tomorrow, 1 p.m. Central Time. We're going to discuss NBA playoffs. So everybody that's on the chat discussing playoffs, though, man, I want y'all to come on the board, and then we'll go ahead and chop it up, have a heated discussion about all the stuff in the NBA, and then all your predictions about the playoff stuff. So this has been MehariNation Sports Podcast. Shout out to the entire LDBC. Shout out to the entire Lions Den basketball and MMA and boxing community. And we out. Have a good night, everybody.
Peace.
Peace.
All right.